Go ahead.
Okay, this is group 6. We did Squid for Windows, and our group is Donald, Mitchell, Emily, Ben, and Tom. Our presentation topic was research what proxy servers are available to protect organizations and why they're used, specifically research Squid and explain to the class how it works. Set up Squid on a Linux VM and have your laptops use it for whitelisting. So what is a proxy server? A proxy server intercepts user requests from the internal network and then processes that request externally on behalf of the user. Before processing the request externally, the proxy server will check to see if the requested file or page is already in its cache, thus eliminating the need to request it from the remote server. These are the top 5 free web proxies according to livewire.com. So Squid is a caching proxy for the web. It's used by hundreds of internet providers worldwide to provide their users with the best possible web access. Squid optimizes the data flow between client and server to improve performance and caches frequently used content to save bandwidth.
So we chose to install the Squid for Windows as an extra challenge. So here's the setup wizard. And then we had to accept the terms of the end user license and choose a destination folder. And then allow the program to be installed.
And so after a successful installation, you can see that Squid for Windows service has been installed and is successfully running. So Squid is an excellent caching tool, but it's also a really good web filter. And so one thing that you can do is whitelisting. The whitelisting excludes something from action being taken on it. So one thing is you can block all websites from being accessed, like in your house during certain times, or you can block all websites other than those explicitly listed. And that is whitelisting, saying only these sites can work. So we went through this tutorial setting up a strict whitelist proxy server using Squid, and just went through how to configure a whitelist for Squid. So for Windows devices, Squid installs in the C drive in the Squid directory. And to find the config file, you need to drill down a little bit to the etc Squid folder. So we added 2 lines of text, first to tell Squid that we want to use a whitelist file and where to find it. And then the second is to tell Squid to deny all browsing to HTTP sites that are not on the whitelist file.
But here's the whitelist file that we have. We only added 4 entries to it: Yahoo, MSN, Windows Central, and Xbox. We made it pretty simple so that we didn't have to do a bunch of tests here, but proof of concept of how this works. As you can see that using Internet Explorer, I am not pointing the web proxy to the proxy server yet. It's just going through its normal browsing, and Yahoo shows up just fine. Everything looks good. Same with Windows Central. Once again, not using the proxy server, everything looks good. Going to Google, not using the web proxy server, everything looks good. And you'll remember that the first 2 I just showed you, Yahoo and Windows Central, are in my whitelist, but Google is not. What happens when we turn on the proxy server? Hit this checkbox, put the IP address in there and the correct port, and Internet Explorer is now pointing to that proxy server. First thing we do is we test Google, since we know we weren't supposed to get there, and lo and behold, the Squid web proxy server is now blocking Google, telling us that access is denied. So it is working. Let's try out one of our whitelisted sites to see if we can get there. The answer is yes, we are able to get to yahoo.com, but clearly this does not look correct. It looks as though it's blocking the CSS for the web page. All the content is there, but it's not styled very well. Let's check another one to see if this is a normal occurrence. Went to windowscentral.com, and guess what? Everything looks good. And we are, as you can see here, also using the proxy server, so it's coming up as you would expect. Now, so far, the few hours that we played with Squid showed us that it's pretty powerful but flaky, and some websites that could be whitelisted perfectly fine while others had problems. Yahoo, for instance, maybe they're pulling the CSS file from another location that we did not whitelist. It's going to get a little tricky the more websites you go to, as they are constantly pulling data from different locations. If this web browser decides that it wants to pull it from another site and we're not whitelisting that, it appears that Squid is going to be blocking that. So end result, use at your own risk. It is powerful, but a little bit of a headache to get running.